Have you ever wanted to try and no-hit Tenna in Deltarune? Well, I can teach you how. Now, I'll be honest here, Tenna is probably the only skill-based boss in the entirety of Chapter 3, thanks Toby Fox. But yeah, hopefully these tips and tricks here will help you to no-hit Tenna. It is a bit tough at first, but you can eventually get used to it, especially when it comes to one particular attack that which we will cover. So first, let's go over equipment. First thing you're going to need is the Saber 10 on Chris, the Twisted Axe and Devil's Tail on Susie, and the Puppet Scarf on Rousey. You don't really have to worry about armor too much, but it does help if you have some damage buffs, because later in the fight the attacks will repeat, but if you're doing Pacifist, you don't really need these. Alright, so let's talk strategy. When it comes to Tenna, you have two options. One is to will down his HP as quickly as possible, like I'm doing with the equipment I'm just showing this tutorial. Or you can do Pacify, which is to say, I love TV and play minigames. Pacifist takes a lot longer, and it's honestly more stressful, so I will not be covering that in this tutorial, but I'll probably do a separate one on how to do it. But we will cover some strategies for it in this, since it's mostly playing just minigames anyway. So, yeah. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is beat Tenna to death. So you got to learn to do better crits. That time I didn't really do it correctly. So he says like 1,000 points. We won't worry about that. The reason why I'm playing with music this time is because by challenge run rules, the music is actually important and cannot be modified to anything, because there is an attack in this fight that relies on that music file, and if you remove it, then things get a little bit weird and it invalidates your run. So do not modify TV time, it's just not worth it. Right, so the first attack is the All-Star cast. Stars move in a semicircle fashion. Just move around, it's just randomness, nothing really to it. So just keep attacking. It's very important that you get that damage in. So the cut attack I see a lot of people struggle with because the screen splits. There's two ways you can go about this one. First of all, you could stay in the middle and do it this way. Or the other is that you could try and do it this way, which is to go on either side. But I found it a little bit harder because it's a bit more difficult to read with the split screen. So yeah, that's what I do. It's making me laugh. So rim shot. Now, I covered the strategy for this in a community post. There's 4 different strategies depending on what pattern you get. Because there's 4 different patterns. Let's see what one I'm going to get now. So I get this one here. Now, obviously, I'm going to show on screen what to do for each one now. If you have more than 50% TP, you're free to use Rebuster. Make sure to time the press, not mash it. This isn't chapter 1 or 2. So Neo programs just watch. It's the laughing stars again. Fresh from the juice. If you have 34%, between 34% and 50% TP, you can defend with Chris because the payoff is much better than just letting Chris attack as well. But if you have 50%, attack with Chris as well. So show it at 5. This one is also very tricky. But another strategy I've found that could help with this is to just hug the edge and read there. But if you learn it my way, it's a lot easier to do. So contestants, another physical challenge. So these minigames are very similar to what you face earlier in the chapter. So dodging fire, or as I call it, fire hopping. Just jump over fire, avoid the other fire as best as you can. By this point, you should have him at least half health. Rhythm game, you can just spam all the way through it. Nothing really to it at all. So just mash Z, X, left and right. Alternatively, you could play it like I do, which is just match it up regularly, but if you can't read it or it's too fast for you, then just mash all the way through. You don't get penalized for that at all, which is a very good Toby Fox move. I have to give him a W for this. Right, double feature is where you play 2 minigames in a row. When it comes to shooting the targets, have your crosshair in the middle and hold C. Do not press Z, okay? So if you hold Z, if you hold C, you'll automatically fire. The shooting minigame, quickly go to either Tenna. The corner ones don't come out, at least in my experience. The corner ones do not pop out. So 32%. Around this point is where you'll be able to end the fight with fight, rebuster, fight. But in case you can't, I will demonstrate what happens if you don't. So the rhythm game is sped up. Honestly, being able to play the rhythm game is very much horror. Right, bounce the ball, you can just do this. Obviously, bounce the ball if you're afraid that it's going to hit you. But, yeah, you don't have to bounce the ball on the umbrella. You can let it bounce on the floor, and it will still not count as a miss, which I think is also a really good design choice, because it's actually quite hard to hit it most of the time. I'll show some more. Dodge, react, and go to wherever you see fit. I tend to alternate between the middle and whatever side is best for me. Sometimes the corner, sometimes the edge. But yeah, it is important that you learn these minigames. Now, for Zuzizilla, I'm sorry to admit that I don't have experience with the Zuzizilla minigames, so I'm sorry, I won't be able to cover that here, but if you have that unlocked, then, well, good luck. It is a tough one. Right, so now I'm going to go into Final Attack. I'm hoping. Nope, it's not Final Attack yet, so I'm going to do some more minigames. Right, Final Attack is playing many minigames in quick succession. Minigames, just tap left and right as fast as possible. And just be prepared for any transition. So you'll have to react like really quickly. Hold C throughout, so that if you get the shooting targets, then you hit them immediately. Yeah, the saloon one especially is really challenging at this speed, because you get very little time to shoot it. Right, now defeat Tenna. Do the same thing as you did for the shooting the targets. Just stay in the middle because of the stars. As you hit him more, the stars will speed up. So you want to make sure that you can hit them all rather quickly and get rid of them just before that happens. So there you go. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like under optimal conditions. And there you go, that's how to no-hit Tenna in Deltarune Chapter 3. There isn't really any advanced techniques for this aside from grazing more, which requires some speedrunner skill, and I ain't no speedrunner, so I will not be covering that. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and wait, what's that noise?